Hello, model railroaders. I'm going to try to show you how I did make some of these trees that I just did a video. I posted a video the other day on, and I made several. So I want to show them to you, but I'm going to quick show you what I did, the process. I'm going to make one little tree first for you. Um, just so you know, I'm using that. I mentioned the wire I bought. I'm going to tell you this right now. The copper wire probably is a lot better to use, a lot easier to work with. I'm trying to show this. It's really hard to get this nice and clear. But anyways, what I did is I made a bunch of these little tree things. Excuse my little workstation here. I use my tabletop saw for a lot of stuff. I made a whole bunch of these things. You can see these are the armatures that I'm using to make these. I've seen about 2 or 3 guys using these, and I watched a few more videos yesterday. I think I kind of have a little bit of a groove now. I've made quite a few, and I'll show you those after a bit. But I'm going to show you this. It's going to be little micro clips. How I do this. I took this armature here, this piece here. I don't know if you can really even see that very well. And I bent it into a V. Then I took and I tied the bottom. You know, right here you kind of see it. I'm trying to not distort the camera here. So it's twisted. Now I'm going to put it in the vice grip here. It's pretty, I just mocked up this whole little setup here, so it's not that big a deal. So I just put it in here, clamp it down. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I gotta take some of the rope that I've cut, and I'm gonna show you that. I went through and did a whole bunch of it ahead of time into pieces. So I'm gonna show you right here what I've done. I'm gonna turn the camera here. So in order to do these, you have to cut these things into little strips like this, your little rope piles. So I just have a couple of these buckets, and I cut a whole bunch of these up. It didn't take long, and there's this roll of rope that I have in the first video. It was very inexpensive. It's probably 14 bucks for 3 or 4,000 feet. So anyways, I cut these in 2.5 to 3.5 inch little strips. So these are just for future, so I don't have to wait so long, because this is it takes a little bit to prep all this. And then here I shredded some, unspooled them, and by doing that, I'll show you quick what you do. You would just take one of these little pieces here, and you just reverse spin them back, and then they come apart. You know, they just kind of come apart into little fibers. You know, it's kind of it takes a little bit of doing, but that is the timeliest part of this whole process. So I just made a whole bunch of it ahead of time just to make my trees. So I'm gonna make a bunch of trees today. I'm gonna kind of time myself and see how long it takes me to do these. So anyways, I'm gonna stop this for right now, and then I gotta reposition myself to show you the spooling up of the tree itself. So I'll be right back. Okay, I loaded this with foam or rope so you can kind of see it. I got it kind of spread out even. Now the trick that I've had tough times with on this using the steel is getting my drill to grip it properly to spin it nice. I'm gonna tighten this up manually just to make sure I get a good grip on the wire. Otherwise I don't feel that it grips it as well if I just let it. I think the copper, like I say, is a lot probably better product to work with, but it's just so much money. It's crazy. Let's give this a shot. There we go. Now we'll just release this. There we go. Release it from here. And you can kind of see it's nice full tree. Of course, it needs total trimming and everything. One thing I did notice with this stuff is when you get a branch that clumps up, because they do tend to want to clump up. Maybe they're not pulled apart enough initially. But you can go through and you can just spread these back open again too. They do spread open very nicely, and I've had to do that on quite a few of these. Maybe it's the prep isn't as proper as I wanted it to be, but it works, you know, it does a job. And like I say, I also think using copper, I think these things, when they wind up and spool up, they won't be quite so tight. This steel is really tight. It's easy to work with. It's more rigid. That's the biggest thing about this. But this is it's a nice tree. It's a good size, you know. And basically all I'm going to do after this is I got to take and cut the top of this off. Cut that hook off so you leave a little nub for the top. Oops, I guess I should have not let that just fly all over the place. And I cut the bottom just enough so I can have some room to stick it into the, yeah, probably not a good idea to do that. But anyway, so I could stick it into the foam. So that's basically really all I did. I think it works really well. It's not a bad tree. It's nice and full. And then I will come over here and I'm going to trim it down, and I'm going to shut the camera off quick and I'll show you. So this is what mine looks like after I trimmed it. I think it's pretty nice. Once you flock that, it's going to fill it all in super nice. This is about a 4.5 to 5 inch tall tree. Now, of course, got a big stem on it. And then there is some people commenting about these as far as the trunks. There's no trunk to it and it's all just wire. I get that. I kind of have an idea of something. I'm going to give it a shot and I'll post a video if I think it works. But I got 2 ideas how to make the trunks. Something at least so it looks thick. So anyways, that's what this comes out to be. And now I'm going to show you all the ones I made so far. Okay, this is my end result. I got this zoomed in. I'm going to kind of zoom it back out here for 1 second. I'm going to show you everything I used. I used a lot of wire cutter devices. Of course, my electric or my cordless drill. Couple bins from the dollar store to sort my material, scissors, and another side cutter. Actually, I didn't use that one. I just had grabbed a bunch out of my toolbox out in the garage just to have them in case I needed different stuff. And then, of course, I used this welding wires. It's very thin. It's 35 thousandths. Anyways, this stuff, it's a little rigid compared to, I think, what copper is. I don't have any copper, but I think now that I've done this, I'm going to look into getting some, because this was a little challenging to work with. It does bend, you know, but it's tough to keep it formed. I cut those pieces to about 13 inches and then folded them in half. That's how I got the trees the size I have them. The majority of those trees are probably about 4.5 inches, and then you'll see the little ones here, and then on this side, the taller ones as they go up. You can kind of see that from here. If you look, you can kind of see it. It shows, I'm going to move this tin out of the way, and then you can really maybe get a better idea. I don't know if that helps or not. But anyways, they are taller. Them are about 6 inch tall at the back corner, all the way down to about 5. So, and then these ones here, about 3.5 inches tall, maybe even 3 3/4, something like that. So, but I think it's a good process. It just definitely takes time to get your groove, to get it going. It took me a lot of time. There's 71 trees here. These took 71 or 2, something like that. These took me, unfortunately, about 5 hours to make. Doing my conventional way I've made my trees in the past with the furnace filters, in that amount of time, I would have had probably about 100 trees done, maybe 110. So it's just kind of decide what trees you like. These are easy to make, and I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to really stick to. I need about, for what I want to do to my layout, I'd like to make about, and no kidding, probably 400 to 600 trees. So I need another about 8 times this for sure, to get this to be what I want. 7, 8 times what I got here. And I think of that and times that by 5 hours. That's a lot of time. But I don't think, if I get copper, I think that'll be, the time will shrink quite a bit. And plus, I do think that as you get cooking, it gets to be more. And then plus, also, one other thing, like I say, I did employ my wife to help cut some of the material for me. She did a great job of that. I mean, she sat and cut this stuff. I mean, this is a whole bucket of this. I mean, there's enough there to probably do at least 150 more trees already, and I've got enough to do a ton. And I'm using some old buckets we have that are used in our basement. So, and then over there, I use the tin. That's what I just throw the ones that after I just spool them up, I throw them in there till it gets full, and I trim them up. So, anyways, that's basically it. I'm happy with it. I think they came out very nice. I've had some people comment to me about there's no trunks on them because they're thin wire, and yeah, that is true. Like I say, I think I said in the other clip, I have a plan. I'm going to try something out, and if it works, I'll share it. If it doesn't, I'm not even going to discuss it, but I have a plan for that, and I think it would at least get you something from the bottom of the tree branches down to the ground level to thicken it. So we'll just see. I'll see what I can come up with. I think it'll be pretty easy and fast to do, but I'm going to try it for a few times. But for the meantime, I can't even paint these. There's not much I can do with them. I don't have no flock. I don't have nothing. I got to get some material. So I'm kind of out of that stuff. All I have is ground cover material. Lots of that. Ground cover, weeds, all that kind of stuff. But I have nothing else for trees. That's why my pine trees, my regular ones, I even kind of stopped making those now. So, because I have to order some stuff. So, anyways, that's my final product. I just wanted you guys to see how it came out for me. I tried to show some clips of me spooling this stuff up. Hopefully it came through. I mean, enough where you can see it. I'm not the best photographer when I'm in a tight space trying to get things to work, but we'll just see how, just see if it shows you what you need to show. I may update this once I get some copper to show if it's easier, because I have to try it and see. You know, it's something I have to try myself too. But I will tell you, now that I've seen this done, at least 5 or 6 videos. I watched a bunch more even after I made some of these last night. I watched some more videos on this, and it's all pretty much the same thing. The same kind of rope, or the similar type rope, similar type wire. Everyone is using pretty much copper. This is the first, I'm probably the only one I've seen do this, and it's probably because this stuff's hard to work with. But it's the same process, you know, and then you just paint them, flock them, and then they're ready to go. So that's kind of what the next steps will be, and I will show that when I ever get some stuff, and I haven't even ordered it yet, so it's going to be a while. I'm going to just continue making these until I get some either some copper, or I got a ton of the wire. I got enough of this welding wire to make probably 300 of these, but I think I'm going to stop for now because this 5 hours was enough for the week, so I'm kind of tired of it. So anyways, just wanted to show you. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.